Speaking of fucked up people, Greg, you've been kind of...
I'm right here, Tim.
Welcome to Atlas Balked, a weekly chronicle concerning the mundane, weird, and maybe even sometimes dramatic happenings of a simple fantasy baseball league. This podcast captures the thoughts and musings of Greg, Joe, Jack, and Tim, 4 of the 10 owners in the league. Download this podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, or wherever you get the podcast content you listen to while you're sneaking out the bathroom window. You can also connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and email. DM us or send us a quick note at atlasbalked@gmail.com. This is episode 81 entitled The Pageantry of Gwar. Well, good morning, Balked Nation. We're so happy to see you or hear you. I guess I'm not seeing you, but I guess we're so happy that you're listening. We're so happy to have your ears touching our voices as we come off a 2-week vacation. A couple of us had to go to rehab. A couple of us got some more tattoos, and a couple of us kicked a dog.
You can guess who was who.
Yeah, right. Let me see. Like, this astute listener will be able to put that together. Absolutely. So, yeah. So, J-Lo, how are you, and how is the toe of your boot?
Toe of my boot is fine.
Sorry, did I give it away? Was that too...
Trying to wrap my head around their ears touching our voices. Wouldn't it be the other way around?
Well, yeah, our voices could be touching their ears. It depends on which one is initiating.
The ear is a receptor. It's just a little odd.
Ah, okay, right.
But that's
Get
okay.
him, Joe. Get him.
I'm as happy as a fucking Jack Russell Terrier on crack. Bouncing up and down and all over the walls.
GK, you handsome devil, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, guys. It's good to be back. I hope you're feeling refreshed, Tim.
I feel good. I feel really good. I think I just needed a break, and I appreciate you guys letting me take that break.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Take as many as you like.
You seem to be in a dark place before our little hiatus.
I was tired.
Very cynical, very dark. It was unsettling, to be honest.
Kind of like Joe today.
Yeah, or me every day. You know,
It's like having 4 dark personalities instead.
Yeah,
of
we
just
don't
3.
expect it from Tim. You know. So.
I'm good. I flushed that all out of my system. I'm good. I'm happy. There's rainbows and unicorns in my recording studio / office / attic space. Okay, beautiful. Swag, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. What's happening, fellas? Hey, you guys know that only 9% of all the adults in America list baseball as their favorite sport?
What?
That actually seems high.
It's low. It continues to drop. It's behind now football, of course, number 1, 37. Basketball has passed baseball. I know we talked about this a little bit, but has passed baseball now with 11 and 9%. But that's not the worst of it. The worst of it is... men or folks, Americans 55 and older, baseball is at 14%, which means that it's at 6 and 7 for all the people that are going to be making decisions moving forward. The 18 to 54, even the 35 to 54, 7%. Our age group, 7% list baseball as their favorite sport.
Well, I got to imagine there's a lot of rednecks who list like car racing or whatever it is, NASCAR.
Cornhole.
Their favorites for. Yeah, cornhole.
Yeah, baby. I'm right there.
I was on a group chat with one of our super fans, Turdnab himself.
Yes. Wait. Turdnab the Magnificent, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And like I mentioned before we went on air this morning, it was another example of how either we're subconsciously stealing material from the world or the world is really attuned to what we're saying, because he was talking quite a bit about the decrease in popularity of baseball among like his children, and it led to a conversation with us about how disinterested all of our teen and early 20-something children are in baseball, both as a participation sport and as a viewer sport. Sad. And they and one of the participants in the group chat, who's also a fan, I wouldn't quite give him super fan status yet, mentioned that, we had done a really excellent job of breaking down that issue on previous episodes and how some of our ideas were really interesting.
Oh, yeah, and how to spice the game up?
Yeah, some ideas that we had. We should probably, continue to do so. The sport could definitely use some fresh thought, it seems like. The only other negative I found in it overall, and I guess it just comes, naturally if you consider the way the world's going, but let's see, in 2000, 8% said they had no favorite sport at all. Now that number is up to 15. So you just have a lot less folks into sports, period, with, because there's obviously just so much more to do. And again,
there's so much more entertainment.
Yeah.
Did the survey include online gaming?
I don't know that it did. That'd be an interesting one, though.
I wonder where that would rank against baseball as a spectator sport. People watching people play games on YouTube.
Oh, that's huge.
Yeah, it would dominate it.
I'm actually shocked that Joe's aware of that even
right.
as a phenomenon.
Yeah.
I am.
No, yeah, it would dominate it, and at multiple levels. I have 8-year-olds that watch, other 8-year-olds play silly games and such on YouTube, and then I have a 19-year-old that watches other 19-year-olds play much more advanced games on YouTube. So
and they make money doing it.
Jeez, when I was 19, I was looking at porn.
And look how you turned out.
Yeah. And Joe, for the record, Glamour magazine isn't strictly speaking what's on porn.
It was back in my day. It was a Sears catalog underwear section.
Yeah, exactly.
Joe, where did you hear about
what, porn?
Who clued you in about the online gaming viewership, and YouTube? Who clued you in on YouTube?
Perhaps I was watching it on TV or something.
Do you watch YouTube?
Yes, I've seen YouTube.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I've posted things to YouTube.
You have?
Yeah.
Really?
What have you posted to YouTube?
Porn.
That wasn't YouTube,
you had
Joe.
me for a second there. Yeah.
I think the last thing I posted to YouTube was a specific set of Christmas lights that we were using.
What? Hello, world. Here's the Christmas lights we're using. We're going away from the green this year and going to blue and red.
Involved an animal doing cute animal things.
The Christmas lights did, not the porn, right?
Is that the reindeers when you had one reindeer mounted on the other reindeer? Is that the...
No, but that is a fantastic idea, and I'm going to steal that from you if you don't mind.
Oh,
it's going right in the front yard.
Wow. That's weird.
Ladies and gentlemen, Joe's Christmas porn YouTube channel.
Oh, the hell with that. I'm just putting it out in the front yard.
Talk about niche, right?
It's funny, Joe, that you mentioned the fact that you're aware of video games being like a spectator sport now, because over the weekend I downloaded a new app on my phone. Well, and it got me thinking, as I often do, I spend too much time musing over whether or not you're aware of certain things in modern culture or not.
Living rent-free in someone else's head.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful feeling.
Well, so then I started, as I was, I downloaded I found the app that I was looking for, but of course you can't search for an app these days without coming across a lot of other possibilities. And so, as I'm wont to do, I noted some of the more esoteric apps that are available out there, and I also kind of, in my own mind, created a few, and I was wondering if you might like to try to guess which apps are actual apps and which ones are ones that I've created in my mind.
Nothing would give me greater pleasure.
I love it.
Okay. I have the name and the description from iTunes of 6 apps. 3 of these are creations of my own mind, and 3 of them are actual apps. You guys, let's have a little run and see which ones you guys think are fake and real. Sound good?
That sounds great.
Okay, so number 1, it's called SMTH, or Send Me to Heaven. This app measures the height the phone flies from the player's hand. Throw your phone as high as possible and beat your friend's record. That's
number 1.
That's Send Me to Heaven.
Okay.
SMTH. Okay, this next one is, and this is a little more visual. It's a lot more visual. But the name of it is CR and then APP. Crap. And it's the description on iTunes is, scientists and medicos agree that logging your fecal matter daily may provide early insight into many conditions, both serious and routine.
Okay.
So, and it has a little more detail. You're supposed to take a picture of your poop every day, and it like captures it in a diary, and then I guess alerts you to abnormalities.
Joe does that already with a Polaroid, and he has a book that he keeps.
And a copy of the USA Today, like the day's edition of the USA Today. So crap is number 2. Number 3 is called Inspector Cleavage. And there's also an international division.
Oh, jeez.
Well, whether that's real or not, I would buy that one.
The tagline is inspect her cleavage, Inspector Cleavage. Swipe left for boob cleavage, right for butt cleavage. Compete against friends or play alone. Okay, that's number 3, Inspector Cleavage.
Nice.
Number 4 is Run Pee. Improve your movie-going experience with inside tips regarding the best times to dip out of the theater to answer nature's call. That's number 4.
Oh, okay. It tells you what the best times of the movies to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
What you'll miss Oh, nice. Okay.
Right.
All right.
Then the next one is called I Am Bread. And the description is, you are bread. Your mission, become toast. Take on hazards to deliciousness along the way.
Okay. So this is a game. Like you try to get toasted.
Yeah, I am bread.
I am bread.
And then finally, number 6, Hall and Goats. Blue-eyed soul meets the gentle bleating of the animal kingdom's most sleep-inducing crooners to create the perfect sleep soundtrack. 3 of them are real. Absolutely real. You could download them today. 3 of them I've made up, and I'm sure by the week's end, 2 of the ones I've made up will be actual apps. All right, so let's go. Let's vote one by one. So send me to heaven.
I think it's funny as shit, but it's just ridiculous that anybody would download an app where they have to throw their phone up in the air.
We're looking for an answer, Joe.
It hits the ground. I'm saying it's not real.
Not real, okay?
But it should be.
Crap. So number 1, send me to heaven, not real. Crap. We know it's not Scottish.
I'm torn on this one because given the commercials that I see every day of it, what the hell? They have a thing where you can send your poop through the mail to find out if you have cancer. Yeah.
My father died because he put the wrong postage on that box. We assumed all was well.
I'm going to say that is not real.
Not real.
But it could be.
Okay.
I'm torn between that and another one.
Way to not straddle the fence, Joe.
Right. So that means that 3 of the remaining 4 are real, right?
So number 1, not real. Number 2, not real. Number 3, Inspector Cleavage.
That's got to be real. In fact, I'm going to go look that up as soon as we're done. That sounds like a fun, entertaining game.
Number 4 is Run Pee. Improve your movie-going experience.
Well, this is the other one I was torn about because, in fact, I'm going back and changing the crap thing to real because I just realized that with Run Pee, wouldn't they run into copyright issues with film content?
I don't know.
It sounds like it should be.
I don't think they show the movie on the app. It just tells you.
So I'm gonna go with this one is. What did I say for crap? Fine.
Crap is real.
Okay. So I'm saying Run Piss is not real.
Run Pee is not real. I Am Bread.
That's got to be real.
Okay, and then Hall and Goats.
That's just too much of a good pun that you made up.
Hauling. So you're saying not real.
That is not real.
Well, you're a mixed bag, Joe. You wouldn't have won the grand prize. Send Me to Heaven is absolutely real.
Oh, jeez.
That's crazy.
Well, it gets downloaded once and never used again.
Yeah. That is absolutely real. Crap is not real. Not real.
I should have gone with my first instinct.
Inspector Cleavage, not real.
What?
Not real.
Get on that, dude. We need to have that game.
Run Pee is real. I Am Bread is real. And you are correct. Hall and Goats. I guess I have a tell there with my love of punetry, and so it's not real.
It's a talent.
All right, so as I suspected, you don't really have a good firm grasp of what is out there in the app world and what's not.
Well, I haven't downloaded any of those, although I would consider Inspector Cleavage.
But that isn't real, unfortunately.
Then get on that.
And then what just missing the cut was the Eye Shaver Pro, where you can it's a real app where you can turn your iPhone or Android into a virtual electric shaver to amuse and befuddle your friends. Is Greg shaving with his phone?
I'm curious. What's the most useless app you have on your phone?
I have this dating app. Tinder. Things have been slow lately. Oh, here's one that's supposed to measure things like a tape measure of some sort. I've never used that.
I have a lottery ticket app that tells you what lottery tickets won. But now I just go to the store and scan them.
Well, as an example, I can tell you what the one on my phone is. It's a Zippo lighter.
Oh, I have that one.
That's completely useless, but it's fun.
It's again. Here's another example of how I use the Zippo lighter
to light your
on
vape.
the date with no regrets too. Just a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
See, look at that. You guys are you sure you guys weren't separated at birth?
Yeah, maybe.
But I did notice that a couple of your apps focused on some bodily functions, and we did get a direct message on Twitter from our good friends at Real Shit Fantasies.
Oh, no.
And I mean, it wasn't nice. It's, see, you guys finally shut this shit down. You guys suck. So even though they haven't produced a podcast for 5 fucking months, they thought it was important to reach out to us. And
they're obviously monitoring.
I was going to say they had to be listening because they knew that it was gone for a while.
Right. And then obviously being them, they're, a week or two off means that's the end. So they don't understand the concept of just taking time and then actually coming back and starting up again. So fuck you guys.
All they can talk about is fecal matter. You know what I mean? That's all they have to talk about.
And then we did get an email too from our good friend Tito. I would call Tito a super fan for sure. Yeah. And the subject line is, "You guys okay?" And said, "You guys okay? Just a little concerned." Tito, we're all right. We're okay.
Tito.
We're doing all right.
Yep. So Tito,
he's the opposite of the real shit guys, right? The real shit guy. Tito's a good guy.
He is a good guy. We get more positive feedback from HR Courtney. Apparently, she was in no mood to fight after I bumped her out of the top 10 of my Facebook list, but she just kept giving us positive feedback how much she's enjoying our latest season of non-baseball talk. See that, guys, at Real Shit Fantasy? We're smart. We can talk about other stuff besides
we
fecal
love HR
matter.
Courtney. We have to have her back on.
Sure.
Yeah. It's been a while. Let's get her on next week.
I'll try.
We'll get her on next week. So we're going to take a break now. We're going to come back, and we're going to get some follow-up. So we found out that GK went on date number 2. He drove up to a nice little town in I guess it's still South Florida, but getting closer to Central Florida. To see his lovely date who did get her tattoo fixed. And we're also going to take a moment to talk to one of our new owners. As you know, that we're expanding the league.
Oh, yeah.
And Justin, the pseudo scout, is becoming an owner. And Justin had an experience, though, that we want to delve into. So you won't want to miss the next segment.
And in Real Shit Fantasy, guys, it's not about feces. So the experience that Justin had that we're going to delve into, it's not about feces.
Actually, it probably was.
So they can tune out now.
Yeah, right. We don't want to. Right. We don't want them to get any pleasure from this next segment.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see you in a few minutes, guys. Let's get some more coffee. Kathy Moriarty.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So the girl.
I hope she listens.
Online, so Kathy Moriarty in The Raging Bull was good looking. I thought attractive, but in other roles, there's something borderline masculine about her appearance to me. I find her attractive in some situations, borderline masculine in the other. And the girl that I went out with last night is a dead fucking ringer with Kathy Moriarty.
Oh, well, it's the Adam's apple, right?
Maybe the stubble, the stubble, the hair chest,
and so
the penis. Is it the penis?
Might be it.
That always turns me off on a date.
Even as I was contemplating this date, I was like, you know what? Depending on this, how she looks and what she's wearing, it could be good Kathy Moriarty or it could be bad Kathy Moriarty. and let me tell you, it was bad Kathy Moriarty.
You ever see that one Seinfeld episode where he goes out with that chick and like based on the lighting? Yeah.
Two-Face. Yeah.
Kind of like that. Only it sounds more like this chick was one face and it wasn't a good one.
And we went to one bar and I was like, I was ready to bail after
this place isn't dark enough.
And she was like, where do you want to go next? And I was like, okay.
Home, so you're not invited.
Yeah, so we went to another place and then she was like, I'm hungry. Let's go get something to eat. And I was like, and that's when I was, honestly, I took her to this dive bar that I'm familiar with that has a back door near the restrooms. And I was actually, when I was in the bathroom texting you guys, I was like, maybe I should run out the back door. Like, because I'd Ubered to the first bar and she'd driven me to the second. I thought maybe I should run out the back door, and if I run 2 or 3 blocks in the opposite direction, and then like a side street, she probably couldn't find me by the time the Uber showed up.
Am I the only one that every time Greg starts telling a story about a date, I start getting this vision of like the guy or girl that's about to be arrested, and she's like, "Hold on, can I use the bathroom first, please?" And then, they go in the bathroom and then they lock
looking for windows.
Breaks right. Starts trying to squeeze. I know I'm not going to fit through that window, but I'm going to give it a fucking shot.
If I dislocate my shoulder, I can fit. Guys.
I saw Mel Gibson pull this one off in A Lethal Weapon. If he was able to do it, I should be able to.
And I'm not exaggerating when I was like that close to running. But then Jack was like, just see it through. Then we went to one other place and got some food. And then I was like, I can just Uber home. She's like, no, don't be crazy. I'll drive you. And I was like, oh, okay. And then the whole ride home, I was like, oh my God. If she leans in for me to give her a good night kiss, I'm not going to
give her a fist bump.
I'm not going to be able to. I gave her so before she'd even put her car in park.
Nice shot.
She rolled up in front of my house, my apartment, and before she could even get the car in park, I gave her a hug like from the side. Like I was like, okay, thanks. And the car was still rolling, and I jumped out.
Greg's rolling at 20 miles an hour. This is my stop.
He does that roll out of the car down the asphalt. Yeah,
it's the crazy. The thing is that Greg's never been that far in a date, so he wasn't sure how to handle it. He's like, I'm not sure what to do here. I've always usually either I'm gone or they're gone by this point.
Well, this is kind of awkward because I never said welcome back, listeners.
Oh yeah,
and when the tape was rolling, so
no, let's not talk about Kathy Moriarty till next week because I don't want to talk about that till next week because that goes a lot to bro code and how disappointed I am in Joe.
No, we'll come back to it.
And you, Tim.
Dude, that was so fun. Yeah, bring it, dude. You're going down. Whenever you bring that bro code shit, you're going down.
Yeah.
Having it wait is not gonna. My defense is
whatever,
ironclad.
Yeah,
but
whatever.
No, you can come back to it. But that is too funny. We got to keep that in.
Oh yeah.
Keep that in. So there's a little bit of behind the curtains magic. If you were a Patreon supporter, you would probably get more of this. No, I shouldn't say you probably should. You would get more of this. Not you probably would.
You might not.
Let's keep the bar low.
We may or may not give you something.
Even Joe's not even on the call, and I still act like Joe. Like, we might do that, but we're gonna do anything that's gonna make it less appealing to listen to us. That's what we're gonna do. That's our VP of marketing, Justin is. Okay. So, hey, Bacher Nation. So we have,
you know him, you love him,
know him, you love him.
You're gonna hear more of him.
Swing plane is now part of your vocabulary because of him. Our new Juiceless League owner, Justin, the pseudo scout. Justin.
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
Welcome, Justin.
All right, there we go. A round of applause. It could have been crickets, as you were.
Now, I think we're all like polite people, and when we have a guest over our house, we treat them well. We use polite language at the table. We make them feel comfortable at home. But once you become a roommate, right? Those rules change.
Oh yeah.
And so now that you're officially christened an owner in the Juices League, you realize that we were really nice to you, and that's going to end today, right? Like this is, you are now a competitor. You are now on the inside looking out, and I just want you to know we're probably not going to be as pleasant and as nice as we have in the past.
I'll take it. So this is some kind of like gang initiation where
we're jumping you in.
Provide my health insurance so that whenever somebody says, all right, so I think Pseudo's had enough. Like, let's go ahead and drop him off at the hospital.
They're not quite as tough down there in Arizona as they are in some of the other places. Yeah. You want to get in this gang? I'm going to need health insurance proof. And,
it better be a PPO, man. It better be a fucking PPO.
Yeah.
Getting jumped into the Juiceless League gangs, it's not beating you in. It's like Tony Armas, 1986. It's like 343.
I'm all sweating, I can get this.
Eddie Murray, 1983. 301. All right, enough. The kids had enough.
Lay off. We're happy to have you, Justin.
Yeah, man.
We are.
Yeah, I'm amped about it. So, I got depending on how you wanted to start all of it, heard some discussion about the expansion draft, maybe fill in everybody.
Yeah, we'll get to all that shit later. Yeah, don't worry about this.
We're just welcoming you.
Justin's going to go ahead and take over the. Justin's going to go ahead and host the rest of the show now.
I'm sorry. You might not understand.
You said I'm part of the family, right? Okay, good. I got everything.
Yeah, right now I actually have my attorney over here on the couch. He's got these documents for royalties that I'm needing and all kinds of stuff. So that's what's going on.
He can go home. So lesson number 1: Tim is the host. Yes, okay. So just so you know that. Right?
Yes.
So Justin, what did you? I think did you text me your team name? I know the fans are dying to know what the new franchise's name is in the Juiceless League.
Better be good.
The Pseudo Scouts team name will be the Eagle Scouts. The logic behind it is that I know that I'm going to be starting incredibly...
Yeah, you have the entire world to choose from. You're starting over. You have everything in existence as an opportunity.
Yeah, it's not as creative as the Philadelphia experience, that's for sure.
Hey, you son of a bitch. At least I didn't just steal my name from a fucking movie so I looked cool.
Mr. Blonde's Heroes? That's exactly. Besides, I'm not named that anymore.
Maybe not Tarantino's best movie, but I'll take it. Yeah. But I know that the roster is going to have to be incredibly young. Obviously, a play on the pseudo scout term. So
I got it.
And your love of young men, right?
My love of teenage Dominican boys. Yes, you're absolutely right.
Oh, who's that leaving in the background?
Hey, no, that's Doctor. That's the doc.
That's actually my attorney that I was talking about. She came back with the
goodbye, Rodrigo.
With the royalty documents.
Yeah. I told you she's the one in charge. She just kind of lurked in there.
Yeah. She heard him and went to go lock the room. Oh, I forgot to lock the
probably.
Spanish boys.
Father Justin.
Oh yeah, so, I was actually in a previous episode when you guys were going over the whole Wizard of Oz thing and who played what.
Yes.
I was actually thinking, yes, of course. I'm thinking, you know what? Are these motherfuckers going to call me Toto? However, there was also the point where I'm like, you know what? Would I actually be the wizard saying, hey, do not look behind the curtain because you guys have given enough stuff where it's like, oh, someone else is the brains behind this.
No, that's your beautiful. That's your beautiful partner. That's not. Yeah, that's not.
No,
that's not.
I think if anyone, Justin should be one of the flying monkeys. I mean, have you ever seen their launch angle?
Yeah, good
Their
point.
launch angle, they go from like standing, and they're airborne, man.
The exit velocity from like ground to 60 feet up, you're at least 104.
That is a great point.
So let me get this right. We're 12 minutes in, and this guy has taken over hosting of the show and decided to go back and rewrite some of the prior episodes that he didn't like the way it turned out. Is that correct?
He's coming in fists of fury.
I guess
Jeez,
so.
You're coming in swinging.
You know what? Maybe that would end up being the team name, Fists of Fury. Is that right? Hot starter.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't really kind of relay your love of young men, but it's still,
it could if you
there.
little hand job.
Father Justin. Listeners, I'm going to be honest. I'm feeling, and this is totally accurate, I'm feeling a strange sense of protectiveness over Justin right now. As I listen to Tim
I see it. I do see it. It's cute. It's fucking adorable. I actually see it.
I
feel
enough.
Like this fatherly figure.
Believe me, I'll get used to him
Swag
being
and I believe in you.
Wait till he doubles up on me week one and robs me of my best player. I'll be attacking then, but yeah.
Justin can handle himself.
Just like
I can.
Jack's very protective of his brother.
Am I?
He is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And Mikey.
I was going Mikey maybe more so, but
no, your brother. You've been very protective of your brother over the years.
Well, I mean, Chris only trades with Jack anyway, so I guess there's a reason why.
Maybe you're protecting us from your brother. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
Like, don't anger him, or he's unstable. You know, that sort of thing. Justin, aren't you glad you waited 2 hours to be interviewed?
I had some other stuff that I got going on around here.
We assume Justin. Sorry, Greg.
See, I'm protecting Justin. Justin.
You're going to need to run the topics through Greg from now on if you want to interview Justin.
Yeah.
God damn.
I mean, I think Justin's tough enough on his own, but
I'm seeing new rivalries developing all over the place.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
what's going on here?
So Justin, okay, so I will ask Justin a question because Justin's being interviewed. Justin,
how did you get so cool?
No, make a bold prediction, Justin. How many wins will you have your first year in a 19-game season?
Oh, somebody write this down.
We'll just record it.
5.
Touche.
5 wins.
5. Oh boy, he's really going young.
I have no idea what my roster is going to look like. I don't know. Right. And that's why I kind of jumped into this where I'm like, what is this draft going to be like? How does this start again? I have no idea
either.
The anticipation is that the player quality availability is going to be shit. And so
that's pretty accurate.
Yeah. So for me to say 5, that's actually pretty zealous.
A little high. Yep. That's what I'm going with.
So Justin, so when you texted me about this Gwar concert, had you heard us talking about Gwar on the podcast?
No.
That's so weird.
So I had been no shit. So I'm 38. I've been wanting to see Gwar since I was a teenager, since I was like 16, 17 years old. I've been wanting to see fucking Gwar.
Yeah. That's a fucked up childhood, dude.
It was a great one, and it made the pseudo scout everything that he is right now. Yeah. Okay, and this just elevated it. So jump online, and I'll be damned, freaking Gwar is playing in Tempe like 2 months from then. I'm like, tickets bought.
Boom.
So it was completely ridiculous. It was exactly what I wanted it to be. I couldn't even tell you the gallons of demon semen and blood that was all over the crowd.
Team. Demon semen. That's it right there.
Demon semen and blood. That's what it was. There were so many. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie 300, but the quantity of decapitations at the Gwar concert rivaled 300.
Were you in the field of
Yes, I was in that. Yeah.
Oh, you got hit by demon semen?
The splash zone.
Actually, I'm going to try to keep this I'll try to keep it PG-13, but
why?
Why? We're explicit.
Yeah.
So
your lawyer can leave the room if necessary.
Yeah.
All right. The one that got me then was the alien baby that was cut out of Caitlyn Jenner, and the alien baby's green cum went like all over me, and it was it was freaking amazing.
Yeah,
Caitlyn Jenner's kid.
See, Justin, those were the pictures I wanted to see. Not I mean, the video was great, but why didn't you get any pictures of you covered in green semen?
You know what?
You know how he has so many of those.
What?
Yeah, you know, I got so many of them.
Are you saving them for your holiday
card? Yeah, I would have gotten mixed up between, you know, Gwar and what wasn't Gwar when that happened.
Juggalo
Saturday night,
yeah, just a lot. Luckily,
who'd you go with?
I went with an old college roommate of mine.
God.
So yeah. When I told him I had tickets, asked him if he wanted to go, it was at the Marquee, and he was like, "Oh my God, like I'm not going to miss this." And so yeah, it was wild.
Well, I know you're in a very healthy and normal and happy relationship, but for me and for the listeners, what was the female scene like at a Gwar concert? Were there women there? I mean, I used to go to a lot of Rush concerts, and there was like a 24-to-1 male to female ratio at Rush concerts. I can't imagine it being much better at a Gwar concert.
I think the only girl there was working the merch table for one of the opening bands, and you know what? It might have actually been a man. So no, 24-to-1 was actually very generous. The demographic there was not me and my buddy. I'll put it that way.
So Stephanie didn't go with you.
No, she was actually originally going to be going, but
then she came to her senses.
Are you going to have a Gwar themed wedding?
You know what? I wouldn't have a problem with that at all.
I'm guessing she may.
Yeah, so we'll
Does
see.
she know you went to a Gwar show?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I'm like, oh, hey, but it was even a Sunday night, and I'm like, look, and I'm not going to be doing Gwar things, and then drive fucking 2 hours.
Gwar things.
Get home at like 1:30 or whatever. Yeah,
get pulled over by an Arizona State trooper covered in green semen.
Yeah, I'm like,
you're not going to believe this.
Like, oh no, it's not what it looks like.
Caitlyn Jenner's baby came out of her abdomen.
Caitlyn Jenner's kiddo is.
I was standing too close.
Wasn't my fault. Yeah.
So Justin, so I am fascinated by this. Like, so you and your college roommate were enjoying this spectacle for what it is, having some fun with it.
Yeah.
Would you characterize as more than 50% of the crowd was like deadly seriously into it though? Like, was there a lot of like, or was it a lot of bemusement by the crowd? Like, that's great. You know.
You know what? No, I actually think that the majority of the crowd. I mean, the mosh pit was enormous, and I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, do you not see this enormous thing that the lead singer is chopping in half with an axe? Like, how are you missing, like, the spectacle and the props and really, like, the pageantry of this thing?
So you were mad they were moshing. They should have been enjoying it.
The Pageantry of Gwar.
You know, that should be your team name.
Yeah, and I'm like, how are you guys missing this? You know, so really, there was just a bunch of like headbangers and stuff. I mean, yeah, I did see a couple other people that were be dressed like us going there. You know, when they were purely observing the weirdness. But
yeah, there's literally two groups of people there. That's it. Those two. There's no in between. There's no, hey, you want to go with me? Hey, it's those two groups of people.
So there's no, I'm thinking about getting seriously into Gwar, and I want to go to the concert.
Yeah, I was like, I heard a couple albums of theirs. Think I might get into them, and you know,
probably not.
Yeah, no, it was totally like a barbell effect, and of the two groups that were there, neither of them were women.
No, that's probably a good thing. I don't think I want to see the chicks who are into Gwar.
Right, exactly.
So just for our audience that doesn't know who Gwar is or hasn't heard their music or captured the pageantry of Gwar, as
our audience knows.
Although 50% of the folks on this interview right now have seen Gwar, how would you describe Gwar? I described Gwar as a Barney show on acid. But I don't even think I captured that.
That's not violent enough. Yeah.
Yeah, it was very violent. Like I said, the quantity of blood that was squirting all over the crowd. I mean, it was outrageous. I mean, everything on stage is dressed up. There's props like crazy.
I wish we had video of Stephanie right now while you're describing this and having her face. Like, what does her face look like as you're describing
Especially only his side of the conversation. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
The amount of blood and semen spraying all over.
No, it's the baseball podcast, honey. Doing the baseball podcast. It's cool.
I took about 20 minutes of video, of various videos of this concert. I didn't want to be that guy that was like on his phone videotaping this entire thing, but
I was.
I freaking had to be because it was completely ridiculous. Like I had to keep this.
Justin feared breaching social etiquette among the other Gwar participants.
The nice thing about
the
nice thing about Gwar is that when you get a bodily fluid on you, it's okay because you know that there's another bodily fluid coming up that'll help rinse it off. So
yeah, shortly after that, it was Donald Trump's chest cavity that got ripped open and blood all over the place. So that happened as well.
Do they have tarps? I mean, they must have like plastic tarps.
No.
No
tarps.
I saw them early,
They must have, right?
there was just like sex with blow up sheeps and.
No, I mean for the theater.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's not. They don't play theaters. They play like parking lots with like coverings and stuff.
This isn't it like the historic Fox Theater.
Where did you say? Well, what did you say the name of the place?
You saw them where at the Forum, right?
What did you say the name of the place was? Justin?
It was called the Marquee. I mean, this was
that sounds like a nice place.
No,
it was a concrete block that I watched.
Okay, good. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, great acoustics.
So
with a beer tub.
Did you earn your way backstage?
You know what? I really, really tried, but I did not make the cut. Damn it! I did not make the cut for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I guess my button-up polo and tucked into my khakis just wasn't enough for them. I even put new pennies in my loafers, thinking it would have helped, but no such luck.
You better think.
Oh boy! All right.
So that happened.
Well,
Nice.
I got to say, Justin, welcome to the league. We're so happy that you're a part of it. You're as insane as the rest of us, and frankly, I think you're tough enough. I wouldn't worry about Greg's coddling. You can hang.
Not saying I don't like it. So the more the better.
Yeah, he is a Gwar fan.
He likes to be coddled.
Yeah, especially with the
coddling or the abuse. Which one is it that you don't like?
Maybe it's both,
now.
right?
I actually like the double bind situation. So if it could come right after the abuse, then that's just crazy enough to be something I like.
Justin, welcome to the league. It was great seeing you.
Yeah, it's been real. Good seeing everybody. Shoot, it's been like, I don't know, 2 months or something like that. I don't know.
Been too long.
You guys have seen each other in person more recently than you've podcasted with us.
Probably. I don't know.
Could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me shoot me some additional fan mail. Do I actually have an actual fan listening to this thing if he actually addressed the pseudo scout?
Maybe we should do that along with Ask Nails. Ask Pseudo
Scout. That's right.
Yeah.
Ask Gwar.
At this point, if you could limit your questions to being baseball or Gwar related, that would be helpful.
That would be great. Yeah, maybe I can get into like a different kind of character or something similar to like what Johnny Carson would do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've already done that.
Your character enough.
Yeah. I did Karnak in season 1, Justin. You better go back and listen to those old episodes.
Bombed.
That's old school.
It went to the edges of the podcast and then just slowly disappeared.
At least I was trying.
Oh, and we'll tell you what character you're going to play. So.
Pseudo Scout has no decision making in anything. You are purely reactionary.
Yeah,
that's right.
Oh, don't mention reactionary. Joe hates communists.
Tim was supposed to explain all that to you at the meeting. I don't know if you.
Yeah.
At the meeting, did
you sign the paperwork
in Portland? In Portland.
Yeah.
Oh,
no, we just got drunk and had tater tots or something like that.
Or so Justin
sounds accurate.
thought.
Yeah.
Those weren't tater tots. Okay. Anyway.
All right, guys.
Yes.
Well, all right, boys.
Yep.
I got to go watch football.
Yep. All right. Well, remember, this is the middle segment, GK. So just,
Oh.
Right.
Can't wait till
watch football after we talk.
And then after that, we'll watch football.
3, 2, 1.
Great, because I have a whole day of putting this together. So have fun watching football, asshole.
You wanted to be the producer.
All right. See you later, boys.
All right.
Bye.
Adios.
Take care. Take care, Justin.
Welcome back, bots. We're happy to have you back. And wow, what a great interview with Justin. Joe, what do you think? How do you think that interview went?
It was really interesting that he went to see Gwar. The only other people that I've ever known that did that were very strange. There was a guy and his 2 girlfriends that I used to work with, and they were all vampires, and that was their favorite band.
Joe was on the podcast when I admitted that I had seen Gwar before, right? So he was aware.
Yeah, but you don't count.
Well, okay. So I don't count at all, or I don't. I'm not included in weird people.
That was fucking 2 weeks ago. I forgot, Jack. I'm sorry.
You count. Jack, you matter to me.
I actually forgot that.
I just want to be clear.
I don't remember you saying you saw them.
I did.
I never knew that Justin did anything that didn't have something to do with a launch angle or
right.
A
that's
swing
the last
point.
conversation I think we had about him, right?
I've known him personally for going on 10 years.
Oh wow.
And he's not that long, but he's only ever talked to me about baseball or playing softball or watching baseball. That's all he's ever spoken to me about. And to my knowledge, that's the only thing besides like going to work and the grocery store that
Eating
he
meals.
does is baseball related.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. Baseball, work, a grocery store?
Yeah, like
grocery store.
Well, no, I mean,
I believe you might eat dinner,
like
also in the evening sometimes.
Like Justin's if Justin were Maslow, it would be like the bottom of the triangle would be like food and shelter and sustenance. There would be no intervening levels. It would just go right to the peak of
Arizona Fall
understanding
League.
swing planes.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. That is self-actualization in Justin's world is understanding swing planes.
I'm just glad you were sure to ask whether he took the doctor with him.
Yeah.
That was going to drive me nuts if I didn't know that.
Yeah. Okay. How about that team name he came up with? How about that team name he came up with?
Lame. He could do better than that. I mean, we have the Crispy Chickens just won the championship. That's pretty pedestrian, but
I wonder if there's an app to name your fantasy team, some sort of fantasy name generator.
Would you believe me if I said there was, Joe? Maybe there.
I always believe you, Greg. You don't lie. It's one of your good qualities.
That's why you're taking photos of your poop during our last break.
Well, you asked for them. What else was I going to do?
For the real shit fantasy guys.
Speaking of believing in you, Greg, I do know that you had a chance to reconnect with your date that you had. Yeah, so when you were on stage singing "I Did It My Way," what is that?
Jackson, I can't see it.
Fantasy sports name generator. I was gonna start working on it if it didn't exist already.
There you go.
Joe actually has good ideas. He just doesn't realize it.
So yeah, you would. So did I know you?
Yeah,
kind of reconnected with her. How did that go? Was it just a very kind of Norman Rockwell type date this time?
No, I wouldn't say that. I mean, yeah. So we had stayed in contact. I mean, so at the conclusion of our first 24 hours of being in one another's presence, it ended in kind of an awkward way because the whole situation, the tattoo gone wrong, and she would freaked out.
Well, that's an understatement.
But then over the course of the next couple of days, we were in contact with, at first I got, like I said in the last episode, I got the tattoo shop. I didn't get them to do it. They did exactly what was the right thing, and that made her happy. And so that calmed her down considerably to the point where she had said, hey, we should hang out more. But as I mentioned, guys, she lives in your former hunting grounds, the Port St. Lucie. And so anyway, it's not exactly a hop, skip, and a jump from my place, but eventually we did arrange it so that the plan was for me to go up there on a Saturday, stay over at her house, and then I'd come back Sunday. I didn't know what to expect, but it didn't disappoint in terms of unusual dating situation. So I got
Have
to
you
her
been
house,
to Port St. Lucie before?
And no, never was in Port St. Lucie. It seems just like one big strip mall.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So it didn't. The way you guys described it, I was expecting something really just viscerally awful about it. But no, it just seemed kind of boring.
Twin Peaks looked like a really nice town the first couple episodes too, Greg. You've only been there once.
Yeah, no, I get you. I hear you. So I pulled up to her house, and this is like a month after the hurricane scare, and still she has the steel shutters over every window and door of her house.
There you go.
So and you guys had I think I even texted you guys right before I pulled in, hey, if you don't hear from me in 36 hours, maybe you should alert somebody, because I was so kind of on edge about Port St. Lucie. And so there's the steel shutters. That was interesting. She let me into her house, and it was like a dungeon because it was pitch black. There were steel shutters covering everything, and
plastic
so we had
on the furniture
drinks.
and the walls.
It was it's a nice home. It's a nice house, well decorated, but it was dark, and this was 2 or 3 in the afternoon on a sunny day, and it was pitch fucking black in there. So she was like, "Would you like a drink?" And I was like, "I guess." And so we sat in her nearly pitch black kitchen having a drink, and then she was like, "Well, there's really not many places to go."
This is true.
And I said, "Well, wherever we go, we should Uber." And so we debated that for a minute, but she's like, "No, that's true, because listeners, I may ghost people, but I don't drive drunk." I want all the kids out there listening to know that. But so
not even to get away.
Yeah, no. Well, no, because
you can't kill me now. I have to wait for my Uber.
So that's another story. But and so she said, "Okay, I'll take care of it. I'll hail the Uber using her app." And so we finished our drink, and she said, "Oh, hey, our car's outside." We get into this car, and she seems to know the Uber driver. And so I said, "Hey, how long you been driving Uber?" And he was like, "Oh, I'm not an Uber driver." And I was like, "You're not?" Well, I'll call this gal D. That's not her real name. But so D was like, "Oh no, ha ha ha, Greg. He's my neighbor." So her neighbor was driving us to the bar. And as a thank you, she invited him to have dinner with us. So we went to we wound up not in
tattoo place.
Not in Port St. Lucie. No, not in Port St. Lucie. We wound up in some restaurant.
By the water?
No, not by the water. By the Intercoastal, it looked like maybe a little bit. But I don't know. I was about to quote Charlie Daniels, like a kind of redneck-looking joint called the Dewdrop Inn. No, but it was like this seafood restaurant tiki bar with live acoustic music. And so in we go, and we're sitting outside, and it's a nice day, and we're having some drinks with her neighbor, and and myself.
Is he your age, or is he an older gentleman or younger?
Nope. He's maybe even younger. And it turns out,
was he athletic? Was this?
No, I didn't. Okay. I didn't feel like I was in competition with.
But was
guy.
it?
I mean, he was a nice guy.
But if somebody had just walked up and was forced to pick her date, would it have been obvious?
Well, yeah, I think so, because she sat next to me. Right. And but again, as we were having these casual conversations, I mean, this was just another weird 24 hours. This guy, they're like, "Oh, remember the time we went to New Orleans?" They'd gone on a trip to New Orleans together. These two, this guy was nice, and I was like, "Hey, did you guys want to try my entree?" We ordered food and drinks, and D was like, "Yeah, sure," and he was like, "Oh no," he got deadly serious, and D was like, "Oh." He doesn't he refuses to let anybody eat off his plate or eat off of any other person's plate. And I was like, what? And I talked to him about that. It was very strange.
Also,
anyway,
a lot of details here. You know what it might be? Can I guess? Is it possible at some point did she point out that this person had been there every other time she's gotten a tattoo and made sure that everything was spelled correctly, or no?
No. No. But he did ask me as soon as I got in the car. As soon as I got into his, what I thought was his Uber, it was just his car. He did say, "Are you a tattoo artist?" And I was like, "No." But anyway,
nor am I a tattoo editor,
but I play one on a podcast.
I can't even choose them,
guys. It doesn't seem weird.
Go ahead.
Weird. I get it. Yeah, and I was
point.
And I was immediately like, "Oh, what the fuck did I do?" These guys were right. This is a weird town. This is going to be a terrible day. I don't want to hang out with this. I mean, you know how awkward I am. I was interested in getting to know this girl, but
not her neighborhood, right?
No thanks. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, he finishes. He leaves. He's like, "Okay, well, bye." And we're like, "Okay, it's nice to see you." And we're drinking. This girl likes to drink too, so we're drinking. And there's like an acoustic guy with a guitar playing, songs that we all know, and it was pretty pleasant. And we're having fun drinking, but the crowd there. Have you guys ever seen the movie The Witness with Jodie Foster?
Oh yeah.
There was these three guys that, they look like like a theater production version of the three guys who raped Jodie Foster.
So you did stay in Port St. Lucie. Okay. that's all you
exactly.
had to say.
I feel it's just like he's like a war correspondent who's returned to what we know, and I'm like really
take out the terrain
and describing.
Surprised you don't know who one of the three guys is.
It hasn't changed in 20 fucking years. It's exactly the same.
Well, and to her credit, I didn't get a real good feel for where because she has guns, so I thought maybe she was a little bit further right politically than me. But she's not. No, she's not from Port St. Lucie. She's from the north.
Yeah, that's everybody in Port St. Lucie.
Yeah, most of them on the witness protection program.
mean,
Exactly.
it was
the guns. You could be left or right. Doesn't matter. That's just protection in Pizzle. That's all that is.
Well, I mean, it wasn't quite the Hills Have Eyes creepy, but it was like the Witness creepy. And I said to her, I was like, "Look at those fucking guys. Like these were like." Our age guys, or maybe a little older, with really ill-fitting tank.
She's like, "Oh, those guys are all right home."
No, and she laughed, and she was like, "I know this place is fucking crazy, But so we're drinking, we're having a decent enough time. I'm feeling relatively safe. I go to the restroom, and I come back, and I feel like somebody gave me acid because the entire bar, and I only, took a piss. I was
really got to fucking go out with this guy.
The entire bar.
See, if you had the Run P app, you would have known better.
No, I mean the entire bar. He was playing Let's Get Drunk and Screw when I left. Okay, something along those lines. And 3 minutes later, the entire bar and restaurant is standing up with their hats off as he's doing an acoustical rendition of the Star Spangled Banner. And I walked into the bar area where we were sitting, and I was like, "What happened while I was gone?" Well, yeah. Did they announce an attack on the country? I guess that was his closing
very
number.
Patriotic.
That was his finale
in St. Lucie. Okay. Very patriotic group.
Yeah.
So he finishes, and I sat down and I was like, "What the fuck just happened?" She's like, "I have no idea. I was finishing my White Claw, and then all of a sudden, I saw everybody rising to their feet, and I soon realized." She's like, "I hate the Star Spangled Banner. Why was he singing that?" Anyway,
communist.
She hates the Star Spangled Banner. Jeez, what a horrible person.
She hates compulsory demonstrations of patriotism. Let's put it that way, Joe.
Why did she stand up then? It's not compulsory.
Yeah, or then support St. Lucie, you might get killed by the three guys. Anyway,
I wonder at any point did anybody shout out "Play Freebird"?
I did actually. I
did. It's
Freebird
by 10:30.
Yeah, exactly. He did play it, but But, but I'm actually starting to think, she's cool. Now that I've gotten her out of this bizarre tattoo situation, the last time I saw her, she was out of her element. She's a pretty cool, fun chick. Like, she's not, politically, we're not far apart, Then there's a break, and we're drinking, and then another band comes on, and they look like Motley Crue. Like, literally Motley Crue. Now, you know what I mean? Like elderly Motley Crue.
Okay, these guys I might know.
So not a pretty sight.
No, this might be my group.
Yeah. So night. Yeah. So night fell. Night fell, and we're drinking, and these guys start playing, and almost without warning, the place was suddenly packed with people drinking and dancing and laughing, and they were all 60 plus years old. All of them, and I sent you guys a video of it, and they were rocking out.
I never got that one.
Oh, sorry, Joe. I think I sent it to everybody. Oh, you know what? I couldn't send it to Joe's phone because
it wouldn't accept it.
Like it says too much memory needed. No, it's true. Yeah, it wouldn't accept it. No, I'm not exaggerating. No, Joe, it's not a joke.
No,
Joe sets his phone accordingly.
And so. Yeah.
It's self-defense.
So these girls, they were rocking out. Rocking out. We're drunk by this point. They're
playing.
Drunk,
I assume.
I'm
sorry. Set the scene. This is they're playing like 80s hair music, or is it? Okay.
Yes, like Sister Christian.
Okay. Foreigner.
Motorin.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And they're dancing. The old gals are dancing. I mean, they weren't bad.
Drunk.
I was pretty ripped though. But I was so. I mean, and so everyone's drunk. There's some public displays of affection that I normally wouldn't do. Let's put it that way. And so, but then we're dancing ourselves, and we get totally fucked up. And then we decide it's time to go back to her house. And so I ordered the Uber this time. And so the Uber arrived.
It's like it's my uncle.
This girl could be like the spokesmodel for White Claw. She loves that White Claw. You guys know what White Claw is?
Port St. Lucie.
Joe?
Actually,
all the kids
it's the hip new thing.
Joe? It's like a hard cider. It's like sparkling water. No, not cider. Not cider. No. It's hard sparkling water.
It's the modern day version of Zima.
There it is.
Yeah, it's like New York. Yeah, it's like New York seltzer with alcohol. And so she insists on stopping at a liquor store because she doesn't have enough White Claw back at her house. I was like, yeah, sure. Let's keep the party going. And so we make the Uber driver stop at this liquor store.
Back to the dungeon.
Yeah. And again, this girl, if you remember from the last time, part one of this story, she's very emotional. Like 2 or 3 times in our first 24 hours together, she was weeping in the bar, in the tattoo shop, in the other bar, weeping. And so I go into the store and I get a bottle of Jack Daniels and a case of White Claw. And by the time I come out to the car, she's weeping in the Uber.
Uh-oh.
And I was like, what happened? And the Uber driver has a look of utter dread and terror on his face. And I was like,
the same look you had with the tattoo place.
Yeah.
Like, I know that look.
She was like... And she was going on and on about this, how dangerous it is to be an Uber driver. And somehow she'd elicited from this guy the name of some of his wife and some of his family members. And she's like, you need to get home alive, to whoever his wife's name was. And he just looked, I was like, D, calm the fuck down. Everything's all right. This guy's going to be just fine, So we get back to her house and we're drinking some more. And she was like, come into the living room. And the living room had no furniture in it. It was just tile floor. She was like, this is where I do my drunken yoga and sing karaoke. And she opened up a cabinet and there was a karaoke machine. There were 2 microphones.
Oh, wow.
I mean, we've been drinking since 2 in the afternoon. So it's not that late. It's only 11:30 or so, maybe. So we drank and sang karaoke for the next 2 hours. Yeah. Sometimes we did duets, she sang a song, then I sang a song. Sometimes we did duets. For the next 2 hours, we sang karaoke in her darkened, furniture-less living room while drinking.
Did you do that? New York?
That's unbelievable.
No. Okay, I just bring up bad feelings.
No, that was my way that I did in the... this girl, I mean, she was fun. I mean, I was having fun, you know. But then we're singing and we're doing our karaoke, and she falls flat on her face. Flat on her face. I thought she'd. You guys,
it's over,
remember,
Johnny.
Do you remember the photo I sent to you guys?
Like, did she have the microphone?
Yeah. She was.
I didn't get that picture either.
She was singing. She fell flat on her face, and then I rolled her over onto her back and dragged her into the kitchen.
I finished my performance.
Here. No, I'm going to send you a picture of her right now. So she was like, I thought she'd like knocked herself out. She was still conscious though.
How did she not break her nose?
I don't know. But the next day she said her face hurt. But so
your answer should have been you're welcome.
The floor will do that. You should tell her to carpet her fucking drunk karaoke room.
I just got the picture.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And so
and you didn't even have to bleep it, Tim.
And so then she was like, we need to order pizza, you know? So we ordered pizza, and it
She's
arrived
got a firm grip on that White Claw, though, boy. That White Claw.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
That is a Pizzle superstar right there.
Yeah.
And you know what? Honestly, dude, I just noticed on the counter, she also got Yingling for you. That is super sweet.
Yeah, she did.
Oh, my God.
That's a huge trash can, isn't it? Look at the size of that trash can.
Yeah.
Jesus
You
Christ.
can fit a body in there. Jesus Christ.
You can put a fucking... That might be where she puts the bodies. Hold on a second. I'm sorry, Greg. Finish your story.
So I was like, by now it's like 2:30 in the morning. You know, we've been singing karaoke for 2 hours. We've eaten pizza. She's fallen on her face. So I was like, D, come on, let's go to bed. Like, you know, I wasn't even thinking about like sex or anything at this point. I was exhausted and so drunk. I was like, come on, let's go to bed. I said, you need to go to bed.
That's pretty fucking drunk.
And she was like, I'm gonna sleep here. Ironically, the next words out of my mouth were the most ironic of the day. I was like, you will wreck your back if you sleep on this floor. And she's like, I'm fine. And I was like, I insist. And so I reached over, and I have a history of back problems. So I reached over to help her off the ground, and I awkwardly lifted her up. And as soon as I did, I could feel my back go out. But I was so drunk that I knew that, like, oh man, I'm going to be fucking Frankenstein.
You remember it brought you back to that time you were reaching for that fake sausage, right?
Exactly. And so off to bed we go, passed out, wake up the next morning, and I have to go take a piss. And I tell you guys, I'm not exaggerating, I could barely get out of that bed.
Oh, jeez.
But I'm not wanting to look like, you know, Mr. Carruthers from the Carol Burnett show. Right. I want to look like a cool guy still. So I'm like faking it till I make it. And she's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah."
Like, man, I must have wrecked him.
So we watched like Netflix for like 4 hours. Yeah, like 2 hours. I mean, like it's like 2 p.m, and we're still watching Netflix in bed. You know what I mean? And I'm like, you know, I think I'm gonna get going. You know, and it was like almost exactly 24
Can you
hours.
call me an ambulance?
And she was like, "Okay, great. I had a great time." She was like, "I had a great time." Honestly, guys, I could barely get into my car.
My friends,
I could barely get into my car. I could barely get out of my car, and like for the next 3 days, I could barely fucking walk. It was crazy.
Man.
Yeah,
it's very chivalrous, though. That was great that you did that.
Oh,
right. And then at work, everyone's like, "Oh my God, Greg, your back is what happened?" I said, "I have an old back injury, and I aggravated it this week." And they were like, "How'd you do that?" I was like, "I was picking up a drunk chick off the kitchen floor, you know." And they were like, "Ha ha ha!" And I was like, "No, it's true."
That is awesome.
So that was that.
So
yeah.
So when's the next date?
Yeah, right.
I don't know. We'll see. Well, I mean, we text and stuff, but you know, we'll see. I don't know. She's in a weird place. So
her kitchen floor,
literally and literally and figuratively. And so despite my reputation, I am a nice guy, and I don't want to try to get with somebody who's kind of like going through some
Greg
shit,
doesn't,
you know? But she's
Greg
a lot of fun.
likes to fuck up the normal ones. He doesn't want to fuck up the ones worse. That would be wrong. You got your shit together enough that when I fuck you up, you won't be completely over the edge, so it's okay.
That's kind of true.
Maybe he could fuck them back to normal.
Oh, Joe.
Not with that back.
Well, gentlemen, it's great seeing you guys. Love you all. I'll talk to you later.
Smart asses.
See ya.